It's nice to see all of your squares. And I would love to see your faces. Hello, Denise. It's okay if you don't want to be on screen, but I like seeing faces if I can. Betsy, Jackie, David, Jill, Lori, Andy, Mariana, Luis, Barbara, Iena, Bruno, Valeria. Oh, it's so good to see you. Kelly, Barbara. Just want to see everyone's face first. Okay. Well, thank you for being here for this masterclass. And we're going to talk mostly about emotions tonight. Hi, Anne. And for right now, I have the mute on. I'll turn that off later when we get to Q&A. But if you have something you want to ask or something, just raise your digital hand so I can see it. And I'll unmute you. Oh, hi, Bia. You know, it's so fun. I was, looking at the people that have registered and how I've met some of you through Abraham cruises, through other groups that we've been in. Some of you I've met personally through different things, through mutual friends. And it's just so fun to see how this has all come together. And really, it's about creating community. And, that was something that Sarah Landon has talked about in the council, that it's really about creating communities and connecting with like-minded people. And right before, well, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Some of you know my story, some of you know parts of my story, but I think that'll be a really good place to start. So I found Abraham Hicks in 2017. I was in a relationship, and talking to a tarot card reader, and she said, "Have you heard of Abraham Hicks?" And I said, "No, I haven't." And she said, "Go to YouTube, type in Abraham Hicks relationships." And I was instantly hooked. It just resonated with me so much. And I kept listening to it. And so I wanted to connect with other like-minded people that were into this kind of stuff too. Just to have other people to talk about it. So it started me down on a path of this seeking of, and I'm also a life learner. I love learning. I can geek out on things. I can especially geek out on spiritual and metaphysical things. I mean, sometimes I think if someone knew how much time I spent on it, they would like, okay, you're a little crazy. But I know some of you also are on the same kind of path, and because it resonates with you so much. And the other part of my history, my path that I want to share with you too, is I call myself a reformed perfectionist, a recovering perfectionist. I'm a very linear, logical thinker. I went into accounting. I knew that before I even graduated high school. I'm going to go in accounting. I'm going to be a CPA. I'm going to work for a big 4 public accounting firm. Got my whole life planned out. It's going to work. I've got a plan and it's going to work. And so I did that. And, it worked out until it didn't. You get in this path and you think, oh, well, and then you're always searching for the next thing. Oh, when I get this level of success, then I'll be happy, I'll be fulfilled. And so you're always looking for that next step of, oh, then I'll feel fulfilled. Oh, then I'll feel differently. And when you're living in that way and living in your head, you're always trying to figure it out and find that next thing. And it leads to, it can lead to a lot of different things. It can lead to insomnia, not being able to sleep. It can lead to anxiety, depression for some people. And, you know, it leads to not having great relationships, even though on the outside, everything looked perfect because I wanted it to look perfect. So people on the outside were like, oh, everything's great. And it was okay, but there was never that sense of fulfillment. And then until everything kind of came crashing down with divorce and death in the family. And, you know, really got me more on this path. And it has not been a straight and linear path. No way. It has not been straight at all. You know, because it led me down many different roads. One of those roads was, in the beginning, was yoga and doing yoga teacher training, which was great for me because that was one way of getting out of my head. So connecting with my body and my breath. And that led to also looking at different philosophies, different ways of thinking. And then it was like these breadcrumbs. And, you know, it was always something, oh, that led to something else. And then that led to something else. And then that led to something else. And when I look at the evolution of things, absolutely, it's a very windy path. And that's okay. It's not linear. And when we stop thinking that it needs to be linear and it needs to make sense and we need to figure it out, that's where the magic comes, and there's more joy, there's more fluidity in that. And so I can still be a perfectionist, but I would say it has changed so much for me. And thinking about some of these things too, why do I do this? And why is it so important to me? And why am I so passionate about it? And it's because of the difference it's made in my life, not just the material things, like the manifesting material things. It's really about the feeling and how I feel. And it's being more aligned within yourself. And I talk a lot about it's the alignment of you and you, that non-physical part of you and the physical part of you. Sometimes I refer to it as that inner child part of you that is having this human experience on earth that has the emotions, the desires and preferences. And then that non-physical part of you, that part of you that is infinite intelligence, that's energy, that is infinite, that's that unconditional love. And I think that's what we're all searching for. That's why we're all here, because there's a part of us that knows that feels that, and wants more of that connection within ourselves, because it's not really outside, it's inside. That connection is inside first, and that unconditional love within us. And when we feel that within us, it affects everything in our life. Relationships, you know, health, all of it. It affects everything. So that's a little bit about me and my background. And something else too, for some of you that don't know, I think most of you know, I'm located in Miami Beach. I've been here for about 3 years. And when you know my background and where I came from, I grew up in Nebraska. I lived in Nebraska for 40 years. And I grew up in a small town of 800 people. So living in Miami is a completely different world. And I never said, someday I'm going to live in Miami. It was not on my vision board. But living at the beach was always something that I wanted. So it was following that path. And I can tell you, if I had still been in that linear accounting mind, analyzing every step in my life and doing a pros and cons list, I would not be here in Miami. You know, the cons probably would have outweighed the pros, but it's something in it resonated with me. And I knew there was something here for me. I knew there was something leading me to Miami Beach. And when I was on the beach here, when I came to visit some friends, I felt the resonance of it. And I didn't know why, but I followed it. And that is part of your intuition. That is that blending of you and you. It's that trusting. It's that inner knowing. And it is a feeling. And so something else I want to stress to you is that pay attention to how you feel and what resonates with you, because I can tell you what works for me and what's been on my path, but it's different for everyone. And, you know, my path may go this way, your path may go this way, someone else's may be straighter, and it's all okay. There is not a right or wrong. It's really about paying attention to what resonates with you and following that. And I'm seeing my friend Lori, and you know, at different times we met in Charlotte. So I was in Charlotte for 8 years before I moved here, and that was a big move for me too. Moving from Nebraska, I moved halfway across the country to Charlotte. And I met Lori through mutual friends. And as I got more and more into this, I would tell her little things. And then she's gotten more and more into it. And our paths have not been the same. You know, she's followed certain things. And sometimes I tell her, hey, check this out. She's like, no, that doesn't resonate with me. But sometimes I tell her about something else. And she's like, oh yeah, that's really, you know, sparking something for me. So it's different for everyone. And so that's the biggest thing, is just pay attention to how you feel. And that's why emotions are so important, because they are our guidance system. They're guiding us to more. And it's that non-physical part of you that's always communicating with you, that's giving you that inspiration, that's leading you to more, that's leading you to your desires when you pay attention. And a lot of times it is a feeling, and it's following that feeling, which is your emotions. And it's also a vibration. So I know a lot of you on here are into Abraham Hicks and different channelers. And Abraham talks about vibration a lot. And vibration to me is a combination of our emotions and our thoughts. And the more time we spend in the higher part of that emotional scale, the higher our vibration is. And when you're in that higher vibration, the energy moves faster. Things move faster in your life. You have more synchronicities. You have more inspiration. And another channeler I follow a lot is Bashar, and I've really gotten into them more in this last year. And I saw them in person in Sedona in September. And I feel like it's been playing out even more in my life, of that passion formula that they talk about. If you listen to them a lot, when people ask questions, they're like, follow the formula. And the formula basically is following your passion, following your highest excitement. And that's in everything, whether it's in where you want to live, your job, what you want to eat, what you want to wear, what excites you, what feels fun for you, and paying attention again to those feelings within you, because that's what's leading you forward. Okay. And a couple other things I was going to say. So this background, this was inspired earlier this year. I did a free workshop earlier this year on manifestation. And so as part of that, I thought, oh, this would be like a dream house. Someplace on the water, there's an infinity pool, it's really open and airy. And, why not? And that's a big thing too, is use your imagination. Let your mind wander towards what is wanted. And the more that you do that, the more that you'll see those fun things show up in your life also of, oh, I had a thought about that. And now it's shown up in my life. And as you do that, your thoughts, your emotions, they go more towards what is wanted. And so you'll notice those old patterns of sometimes, and this is something for myself that I would say is a big change. I used to have these thought loop patterns of something over and over. My mind would get on something, and then I would just keep analyzing it over and over on this loop. And that's the thing. So meditation is something that really helps with that too. It stops so much of that mind chatter, and it helps you notice that. And also, as your vibration rises, you get more sensitive to emotions, which you might think, oh crap, that might not feel good. But actually, it is a good thing being sensitive, because then you notice those things more. Because, and that's the thing that I noticed for myself too, as being so much in my mind, I had kind of just numbed out of a lot of emotions, not wanting to feel things. And so spending a lot of time in my head to where you don't even really know what you're truly feeling. And this is the case for a lot of people, and it can be for different reasons. And a lot of times it just happens over time. We don't even really realize it. And then again, that leads to just feelings of not being fulfilled, maybe sometimes anxious, not being able to sleep. But it's getting back in tune with your emotions and allowing all of your emotions. And we're going to be talking tonight about mastering your emotions. And being a master of your emotions is not just about being in joy. And for some people that listen to Abraham Hicks a lot, they might be like, oh my God, I thought joy was the key. Well, it still is, the key. You want to be in the top part of the emotional guidance scale, but forcing yourself to be in joy or pretending to be in joy or happiness when you're not, that's just putting a happy face sticker on something. And your vibration doesn't lie. So even if you're faking it, it doesn't really work. And when you do that also, you don't know what your true emotions are, and you don't know where your vibration really is. So it's really important to allow your emotions. And that's what part of mastering your emotions is. It's knowing where you are vibrationally, emotionally, and allowing those emotions, because emotions are just energy. They're energy that wants to move. And when we don't allow the energy, it does get stagnant. It's slow moving, and it's almost like a weight that feels like it weighs you down. And something else I have noticed for myself is physically, as my vibration has gone higher and higher, I feel better and better in my body. Physically, I am lighter. I'm probably 20 pounds lighter than I was before I started this work. And, when I was at the height of my accounting career and super stressed out, I had at least 20 more pounds on me and could not lose the weight. I was doing everything, could not lose the weight. And as soon as I left that job and did some things, the weight just fell off of me. And now it's my body has just adjusted, and I feel like it's this vibration. And my body just, it feels lighter. And I used to have a lot of, I would say, just tightness in my body and sometimes soreness. And most of that has gone away. I wouldn't say that I never have aches or pains anymore, but a lot of that energy, as my energy moves faster, my body feels better and better. And I feel like the energy is moving faster in my body. And that may not be the case for everyone, but that's something that I have observed for myself. Okay. So before we move on, does anyone have anything else they want to add? Any questions? Okay. Oh, I also was going to show you, can't see what I'm wearing. I'm decided to wear the Good Vibes outfit. I was, it's fun just to like, oh, what would be fun to wear? Following your highest excitement. So I thought that would be fun tonight. Okay. Oh, something, I'm just looking at my notes. So something I also was going to mention about the Abraham Hicks, the last workshop that I went to in San Diego, one of my favorite hot seats, this woman got in the hot seat and she said, I hate my negative emotions. And it was such a good conversation because Abraham led her through just what we've been talking about, that your emotions are your guidance. So you don't want to resist negative emotions. And when we can get to a place of all emotions are okay and not resisting them, that's when that energy moves faster also. And when we stop resisting, that's when things happen easier. Again, where that energy moves faster. And that resistance can also be, when we judge things as, oh no, that's wrong. And we're pushing against something, that's resistance. And when we say, oh, I shouldn't feel this way, that's resistance. All of your emotions are okay. Nothing has gone wrong. If something has triggered you, it's okay. I'm gonna go through some processes that I use for myself personally, and that I use with clients, and I also use with everyone in my mastermind group, that help you as you go through emotions, helps you process those emotions, because all emotions are okay. We want to be in that upper half of the emotional scale. But when we're not, it's okay. It is our guidance system. And the thing that Abraham got to in the hot seat with this woman was they ended up giving her this multiple choice, A, B, C, and D. And one of them was, I'm embarrassed of my negative emotions. I don't remember the middle ones. And then the end one was, I appreciate my negative emotions. They're guiding me and they're showing me where I am. And so that was a really powerful statement, that to appreciate those negative emotions. And the woman actually at the end, she was still embarrassed of her negative emotion, which is okay. Even, you're at the Abraham, everyone, you're all just going through the process. Again, nothing has gone wrong. But that's what they were leading her to, is your emotions are your guidance system. It's not wrong. Even embrace them. It's kind of like contrast. When we have contrast in our life, and no, this shouldn't be happening, when you can be okay with it. Oh, this is contrast. I'm just going to allow this, and allow whatever emotions are there, because if there's an intense emotion, allow yourself to feel it, but then don't push against it. It's a bouncing off point. It's giving you information. It's it's showing you what you don't want, so you know more of what you do want. So that was a really, really good hot seat. Okay. Okay, so knowing your true emotions and feeling your emotions. So like I've been saying, your energy will move faster and faster. You'll start to have more synchronicities in your life. And that feeling, everything that we want in our life is because of how we think it's going to make us feel. Oh, that I'll feel happy when I have that relationship. Be happy when I have that house. I'll be happy when I have that dream car. And it's really about the feeling we think it's going to give us. You don't have to wait. You can feel it now. And as you do this, and as you allow emotions and you get intentional about how you want to feel, your cork will naturally float. You will be in those better feelings more often, that joy, that happiness, and you will naturally have better feeling thoughts. And that's not to say that you won't have any negative thoughts anymore. You will just notice them much faster, so you can head them off, so that negative momentum doesn't build up and you're all of a sudden you're like spiraling downward and, oh crap, what did I do? And that's one of the biggest things is don't beat up on yourself. Don't beat up on yourself when you're feeling negative emotion. Don't beat up on yourself when there's contrast. Oh, this isn't what I wanted to happen. It's all okay. It's all for you. And when you can really be in that everything is for you, it gets so much easier and life gets a lot more fun. Okay. So, okay. And something else I was thinking of before this is, what do I want people to know? And there's a lot in this. What I want everyone to know is you're all doing great. There's nothing you need to fix about yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. It's okay to have desires and preferences. We want to have those, but there's nothing wrong with you. And that is something that I really learned on this path. I went through this phase of, I want to know everything. I want to read every book. I'm going to listen to everything. And this accumulation of knowledge. And when you're in that state and you're just accumulating knowledge, you're still up in your head trying to figure it out. And I feel like the last 2 or 3 years, I'm finally at the point where you don't need anything else. It's all within you. It's really that remembering more and more of who you are, of this non-physical being, that spiritual part of you. And it's really that remembering, and the other stuff is just naturally falling away. Okay, so I'm going to go through specifically on emotions, some more things about emotions. So as I mentioned, emotions are just energy. It's energy that wants to move. And when we allow ourselves to feel the emotion, it can move quickly. But it's when we resist it that emotion gets stagnant and stuck. And is there just one way to do this? No, there's many, many different ways. You know, some people do tapping, some people, you know, I can't even think of all the different things. And my path too, I've done different modalities. One of the things that I started out with was hypnosis and doing a method called rapid transformational therapy. And really the place that I've gotten to is a much simpler place. That it's not digging into your past, because that will just keep you digging. If you want, so not looking for a reason. Because if you're always looking for a reason, you're always going to keep searching. And again, you're still in your mind. Just allow yourself to feel and let the energy of it move. You may have awarenesses of things. Oh, this is from my past. This is some trigger from the past. And that's okay. Allow that to come up, but allow that to come up naturally. And know that when it does, when you have that awareness, it's shifting. You're shifting already in that moment. You have changed. And we may get into that a little bit later. But there's a lot on shifting realities, that there are many different versions of you, and you're shifting into those different versions. You're shifting into those different realities all the time. Again, based on your vibration. And it can be really, really easy. It's not something that you need to go through some big process to learn. It's already happening. You're already doing it. And the more you have an awareness of it and recognize it, the easier it becomes, and the faster you can jump from those different realities and timelines. Okay, so I'm just looking at my notes again. Okay, so something else, as I got into this, I am allowing myself to be more in the flow. And okay, I'm not going to plan out every little thing. I'm going to be in the flow and allow myself to be led, and to also just tune into the energy and the vibration of the group, because everything is a co-creation. It's not just me, it's all of you that are here, and the energy and the summoning. So it's fluid. And when I do this again next week, it will be completely different, because the energy will be different. Okay. So the big thing is, don't resist emotions. Allow them to come up, and realize emotions are temporary. So when you allow your emotions to move, you realize it can actually be really quick. Even an intense emotion can actually move quickly if you just allow it. And that doesn't mean that it may not come back. You know, you may have something else that triggers it later. And then the thing is, again, just to feel it again, because it's always about being in the moment. It's not that, oh, I felt this once and it's good forever. No, it's always evolving, and it's always being in the present moment. How am I feeling now? Right here now, in this present moment. And again, releasing judgment of yourself. That's one of the biggest things. Not judging yourself, not beating yourself up of I should know better, I should be doing better. And that was a big thing also at this Abraham Hicks workshop in San Diego. So if you've ever been to one of those workshops, they're in a hotel in a big conference room. There's probably 1,000 people there. And so this workshop, there was some group next door. It was some kind of Indian convention with tons of people, and they were playing loud music. And it was right next door. So they weren't playing it all the time, but Abraham talked about this as they were getting ready the night before. Esther was in the room, and she was pissed. I can't believe this is going on. Who was in charge of scheduling this? Who missed this on the schedule? We should be doing better. We should be doing better vibrationally. We've been doing this for 40 years. And And she realized, oh, I'm in resistance. I am pushing against this. So she realized, oh, nothing has gone wrong. This is okay. And so during the workshop, there were different times where the music would get really loud. And the thing it did is it helped everyone focus even more. Focus in on, what do you want to hear? Do you want to focus on the music that's in the background? Or do you want to focus on hearing what Abraham has to say and being in that energy and vibration of it? And something else I'll share about the Abraham too, because people have asked me, why do you keep going? Why do you go to so many of these? And it's really the feeling. It's the resonance of it. It feels so good to be there. And it's not just about the words. It's about the energy. It's the vibration. And being in that receiving mode, when you're there, you can feel the shift. You can feel it calibrating you, changing you vibrationally, shifting you. So that's why I go. And I can only tell you my experience. Okay. So, so the other thing with emotions, so going through these processes, so the thing is, when something comes up and you're triggered, to know where you are vibrationally. So I'm going to walk you through the different things. So the first one is when something, you're like, oh, I noticed this, it's not something really intense, you can pivot. And so at the San Diego workshop, something Abraham kept doing, you just flick it off and now what? And that can be a really useful thing. However, knowing if you're just trying that all the time and it's not working, because if it's something intense, it's probably still there and it's going to be niggling at you from underneath. And so you want to go a little deeper and let that emotion move. So, and even if you try, so maybe you try that and it works, great, perfect. Maybe you try that and go, okay, that's not really working. I'm still feeling that emotion. I'm still feeling triggered. Okay, nothing's gone wrong. So allowing yourself to feel it. So someone that I will talk about a lot, and I talk about this in the mastermind a lot, is the Communion of Light. So they are another group of channelers. It's channeled by Frank Butterfield. He's in Orlando. And this is something that's really helped me bridge some of these different thoughts and helped me to have more resonance and knowing for myself. Because the thing is, so for me, and sometimes people can get stuck in this with Abraham thinking, oh, well, I just have to be in joy. And then they're like, well, it's not working. Well, because you're not really in joy, you're just faking it. And that doesn't work. And so allowing those emotions and that they're just energy, that has made a huge, huge difference for me. And again, it's keeping it simple, not going into your mind, why am I feeling this? What am I doing wrong? There's nothing wrong. It's just an emotion. Just let yourself feel it. So to let yourself feel it. So, and this can actually be very quick once you kind of get this down. And I know there's a lot of people on here. So Gina Mallison has a method that she does called the Mallison method that has the calibration. And so part of this is from that process. So what I do, all of these, I've taken things from little different pieces of what works for me, what works that I see for clients, and I've melded all of these together. So this part of this process is this calibration of sitting down, if you can, closing your eyes, just take some deep breaths. Just get in your body, get in the moment, get present to where you are and how you feel. And then just ask yourself, okay, what am I feeling? Am I angry? Am I sad? Am I irritated? And even if you don't have the exact words for it, it's okay. Again, not getting too much in your head about it or too intellectualizing it. Just feel it. So noticing, where is it in my body? Is it, so anger. So anger for me might be in my shoulders and the back of my neck. It might feel hot. I might feel, and then putting attributes on it, like, oh, what color is it? Oh, it's red and orange. It's really fiery. It's a fire. So coming up with those things of what kind of texture is it? What kind of material is it? And that's getting you out of the story of it. It's getting you out of the story of it. It's getting you out of your head. And it's just allowing you to tune into it more and giving it these attributes. And it's using that imagination part of your brain, which is also a really useful thing in this whole process, is getting you more, again, in your imagination. Because if you're like me and have worked in the corporate world and work with numbers all the time, you stop using that part of your brain of the imagination. So getting back into that. So, okay, going back to the process. So just giving it those attributes and breathing and feeling that. And that may be enough for you. Because the thing is, you want to breathe into it and feel the energy of it move. Because once that energy moves, you're done. There's really nothing else to do. Then you can get into, okay, now, how am I feeling now? Am I feeling relief? Is it ease? Is it content? How do I want to feel? And then you may start going up that emotional guidance scale, moving up to better and better feeling emotions. So that's method number 2, depending on where you are vibrationally. So the third method that I use for myself is writing. And so this is from another person. I worked with Liz Hayes. She loves the inner child. And so writing from the perspective of your inner child, just, when you're a kid or you see a kid and they're just throwing a tantrum, let yourself throw that tantrum. And the whole purpose of this is you're taking responsibility for your emotions. You're feeling them, you're processing them. So it's not like you're just spewing them out on someone else. You're feeling them for yourself. So having that internal tantrum, and let yourself write, and just write and write and write. It does not need to make sense. Don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about punctuation. Just write. And sometimes it may just turn out to be chicken scratches or scribbles, because you're not going to keep this. You want to use some paper that you're going to just throw away afterwards, because that's the whole purpose. You're writing this to move the energy, to let it out, and then you're going to get rid of that piece of paper. And so I remember one time I did this. I was really pissed off at someone, and I was writing, and I might have been writing lots of cuss words. And by the end of the page, I just started laughing. And so the energy of it obviously had moved. And so that's the kind of thing you may not end up laughing, but you're moving the energy, and you can feel that shift in the energy, and you're done. There's nothing else like, oh, now I need to go in and analyze this. No, you're done. And again, throwing away that piece of paper, noticing you might be in relief. Oh, just feel I feel better. And that's the thing. It's about feeling better. So, and if you're at the bottom, the emotional scale, and I have lots of these cards everywhere because every time you go to an Abraham Hicks, they give you another card. And this is the emotional guidance scale. So if you're down here in the bottom at fear, and you're writing it out, you may get to anger. And that's okay. You've moved up the scale. You've moved up vibrationally and emotionally, and that may be enough for that moment. Or you may then want to move that anger. So the other thing is, this shouldn't take very long. It should take max 5 minutes. And so people have asked me also, well, aren't you afraid that you're going to start the negative momentum, that you're going to be on a downward spiral? Well, no, because you're doing this to move the energy. And you're doing this, set a timer, because you don't want to write for an hour on why, that you're so pissed off, because then you are just on a downward spiral and you are in the story of it. So noticing that vibrationally, this should be a very quick process to move the energy. And so those are the things that I do for myself, that I recommend, excuse me, to clients, to people in my mastermind group. And then when I work with people one-on-one, so we go through this process of feeling the emotion, and I guide them through this. And so, and that's the other thing. I also still receive sessions from other people, from other practitioners in these methods, because you learn these things and do them on your own. But then the other thing is, when you're working with a practitioner or guide that's holding that space for you, and you're in a big wobble, it really helps move that energy. And I've experienced that. And so, and what I'm doing with that too is we're moving the energy together. It's so your inner being. So whether you want to call it your inner being, your higher self, that source part of you, is up here vibrationally. It's always in unconditional love. And this wobble is in your inner child, this human part of you. And again, nothing has gone wrong, but as you release resistance, your vibration is rising, and you're getting in that alignment again with that broader perspective of you, with that spirit part of you. And that's the inner alignment. That's the alignment of you and you. That's you becoming more and more in alignment with that non-physical part of you, because that's why we're here. We're living this human life in these bodies, but we're more than just this body. And we're becoming more and more of that blended being, of living this life on earth, but also having that connection. And you're always connected. You're always connected. It's just opening up that channel, remembering, and allowing your own guidance, because again, that's that intuition, that's that knowing, that's the feeling of, oh, go here, oh, talk to this person, follow up on this. And it becomes more and more and more as you do this. And it becomes not, some people just meditate, and then outside of meditation, they kind of forget. And the thing is, to whatever practice, whatever tool you're using, is to tune into that every moment of every day, knowing that you are source, you are connected, you have infinite intelligence available to you. And so when you do that, you have so much more available to you, and you feel more of that unconditional love. Okay, so, okay, so those are the steps in the processes that I have to release emotions and to move the energy of emotions. And again, it's really about feeling better. It's not, I need to be in joy. I'm gonna like sit here until I'm in joy. No, you just want to feel better. And better is good. And having that self-compassion, compassion for yourself, and that nothing has gone wrong. You haven't done anything wrong, that it's all good. Okay. Okay, so I think that was it on the emotions. So, okay. Oh, I see I have some things in the chat. Yay, no. Okay, Tiffany. Oh, I think, okay, that was just a comment about Bashar. Okay. All right. So I want to open it up, see if anyone has any questions, any comments. Let me. Okay. Has anyone, I know some of you have had experience with this, with these processes. Stephen, oh wait. Let me, okay, I'm having some technical issues. Okay. You should be able to unmute yourself.
Yeah, we go. Thank you. If you have technical issues, I'm lost completely. Anyway, things are definitely always working out for me. Since June, so many wonderful things are unfolding. The momentum is just delightful, and even a contrast to sometimes as painful as it could be, is even been more delightful. And that's what I'll share briefly on real quick. I was in the process of selling my home, so I went to an attorney, and on the way out of the attorney, what I wanted to do was get a mobile home. So I'm leaving the
Oh,
attorneys.
oh,
Can you?
your sound was, it was cutting out for just a second.
Okay. Is that better?
Keep talking. Oh, did we just lose Stephen? I think we just lost Stephen. Okay, he'll come back. Oh. Okay. Culture connection.
Hello, I'm Tiffany. I was trying to see I can
Oh.
take it off. I'm sorry, it's just coming up under my business name, but
Oh, that's okay.
yeah, let me see if I can take it off. Okay, can you see me?
Mm-hmm.
Guys. All right, so I'm Tiffany. I've been trying to tune in. And one of the things that you had mentioned was you said to stop questioning everything and just feel it. And I found myself like really having I was going through so much I just found myself going through a lot like last week. I think it was I'm in Florida as well. So we just had I'm in Orlando actually. So the hurricane and everything, it was like my first everything hurricane because I just moved down there. Kind of live by coastal. But I just found myself like really trying to sit in my emotions and really feel them. And I'm just when you said like those thoughts, like I find myself when I'm feeling these emotions, I will sit with them because I do. I'll sit. I like to just process whatever I'm going through. And then, but I find myself, I go over it over again. And I'm trying to raise my vibration by like not always going back to that same thought, you know, and really trying to sit with it. So like, do you have any like just any direction with when I'm dealing with something and it could be painful in this case, and I don't mind sharing. I'm kind of open, so I don't mind sharing. Like I went through a breakup and I kind of went like no contact. And then we decided after no contact, we talked, we reconnected, and then we decided to just try to rebuild from the beginning. And I travel a lot. I'm a flight attendant, so I travel a lot. So when I'm in Florida, we'll connect and just, try to get back to a good place. But what I found was I found myself just feeling a range of emotions throughout the whole process. So it's like I'm trying to process what I feel without, putting all this distance there, and trying to stay true to my word of rebuilding and starting from a beginning place. But I find myself just going back to certain things that hurt me in the first place, that made me, so it's just, I got a whole lot going on, but I want to know how to process and work through them, because I'm willing to work on this rebuilding. And I don't want to let that emotion of that hurt that I'm holding on to keep me at this place of stagnation or stuck. I do want to raise my vibration. I do want to move past it. And I do want to call into alignment whatever is for me without forcing or holding on, but just allowing me to go into a flow state,
Yeah. Yes. So several things here. And so like you said, just when it comes up, just allowing yourself to feel it and let that emotion of it move. And so the thing is too, constantly, the other thing that has simplified things for me too is, what do I want? So when
Yes.
niggling thoughts start coming
Yes.
up of,
Yes.
this isn't what I want.
Yes.
What do I want?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so that helps refocus you on what is wanted, and then getting in the feeling of that, of that wanted.
Okay.
And so the thing is too, and this is something I love when Bashar talks about, the past is irrelevant.
Okay.
The past is gone. So thinking about, well, he did this, he did that, you're just recreating more of that past. So realizing too that everything is vibration.
Okay.
Everything is vibration. So tuning into, what do I want? What does that feel like? You're tuning into that vibration, and you're tuning into the version of him that is wanted, because there are multiple realities all at the same time. We think everything is linear, but everything is multidimensional.
Okay.
So when you disconnect, and then you go within and think, okay, what is it that I want? How does that feel? And then tuning into that. And then it is sometimes it's just bizarre how quickly it can work and how easily it can work. And it's not manipulation. It's just you're tuning into a different version of that person.
Yes. Okay. I like that.
You will see them act differently. You might, if you even think of specific words, you might hear them say certain things to you.
Yes, I agree with you. I don't want to cut you off, but no, you're completely right, because I actually, when I journal and I write, I do get into that flow state or that feeling of, us both being in alignment. And I actually am seeing things that he's doing that I'm like, I really do see a difference. I do. Like it's not just my mind. Like I'm really seeing a difference. And I said, I remember like I was like speaking to the universe, and I was telling the universe everything that I wanted to see to prepare me in the beginning. And this time I said, just show me all of the good things about him. Like, just show me all of the good thing and the positives. And I will be honest and tell you that I am seeing these things. but I still go back to those thoughts. So it's like trying to stay in a space where I'm like, okay, continue to look for the positive and the good things, because honestly, I have seen a real difference and change in his behavior, even when it comes to the way he expressed and communicate, which is really something that we struggle with. Just those uncomfortable conversations, not being able to open up and express. So I am seeing even itty bitty steps where he's being more transparent. He's opening up in a sense where he's really hearing me when I speak. So I'm seeing things, but I won't lie, I will go back to the negative. So it's like trying to stay, just really stay in a good space, even when I'm feeling hurt by a past thought, honestly,
Mhm.
So
And that's the thing too, of just, there's an ebb and flow. And so it's not like one and done. So just again, noticing when it comes up,
mhm,
not beating up on yourself, but you can feel it when those thoughts come up, it doesn't feel good. And that's your guidance.
yeah,
That's how your emotions are guiding you. Like, these thoughts don't feel good.
right.
I'm not creating what I want. I'm
Okay.
creating more of that past.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Yeah. And the more that you notice those things and
Yeah.
appreciate them, then it's like it creates that upward momentum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for that encouragement.
You're welcome. Lori. Oh,
Okay. I'm trying to figure out this unmute. I was just gonna add that no matter what it is, your guidance is always right now, which took me a while to figure out, because when my guidance, I would follow the breadcrumbs and I would be in a group or a situation, I really loved it. But sometimes when it started feeling like I didn't love it, I was trying to change myself to make me love it again. I was trying to
Mhm.
do a cartwheel or stand on my head. Like, what is wrong here? It doesn't feel right. But not noticing, it was just my guidance saying, look over here, go this way now. Your guidance led you somewhere, but that doesn't mean it's not going to lead you somewhere else.
right.
It's always
Yeah.
just right now.
Yeah. And that reminds me of when Abraham talks about too, that when we hold ourselves back from the more, like, because we're always asking for more, because we have all of this stuff built up in our vortex, but when we don't allow that forward momentum, it's like we get stuck, and then sometimes it doesn't feel very good.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You start expecting that linear, because I said I was going to do this, even though now your guidance is going over here. Letting go of that. No, it doesn't have to. I don't should. I don't
Yes.
need to stay.
Yes. Yeah. And so something else too, I love when Bashar talks about the permission slips, because that is really about the permission that it's going to change. Like, so something resonates with you at one point, and then you're like, okay, I think I'm done with that. Now what's next? What am I gonna move on to next? And allowing that flow. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna make this decision and this is gonna be the decision for the rest of my life.
Right. Yeah. That's the part, the letting go of being rigid.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was I used to be so rigid. So
Oh,
maybe
me too.
still am, yeah.
I think someone asked today in another group, how do you discern your life purpose? And I used to try to figure that out. I'm like,
Yeah.
and it hit me today, oh, wait a minute. What if I just assume I'm living it? And now I don't have to figure it out.
Yes.
I'm like, wow, that's pretty easy. So,
Yeah. And just in saying that, like, just I can feel the pressure, because when you're like, oh my gosh, I need to figure out my life purpose.
yeah.
That's huge. That's a lot of pressure on
It's like,
yourself. It's like, oh
I'm
my
going
God,
the
I've
wrong
got to
way.
carry the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, really good.
That's all I had to say.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, Stephen, you're back.
Yes, I am. I think I figured it out, but I never know. But one of the things I got off stage and I wanted to get a mobile home and I was willing to sell my home immediately and all of that wonderful stuff. So I went to the attorney and I'm like, okay, we're putting it all up. Everything's done here, but where's this mobile home coming from? So I had to stop and get gas. And there's this mobile home, perfect mobile home, beautiful, sitting next to me, for sale sign right in the window. I want to talk to the guy about, traveling and things of that nature. And I noticed there's that black strip that goes around the windshield that kind of goes between the dash and whatever, where you can't read anything. The phone number was pushed down past that. So no one was calling him on this mobile home.
Oh, nice.
We came to terms. It's perfect. So that's that. And then, unfortunately, I have relatives in South Carolina and as well as Florida. So it came in handy while I'm here waiting on the close of the home and things of that nature. And then I wanted, like, I remember Abraham talking about someone selling their house, and they felt like the house was crappy and blah, 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 blah. And it was on the market for months. And so I started focusing on the wonderful things, what I love about this house and all of that wonderful stuff. And it sold in 3 days. And it was quite wonderful on the way it unfolded. There was a couple that were interested in it. They did the first bid, but I can tell that they weren't embracing the appreciation of this home. The next person that comes in, it was a family, and I had just stopped by the house to pick up a t-shirt because I got it at Mess because I went down to the beach. And they pulled up. So I greeted what is now I know is the grandfather, and I just said, "You're gonna love this house." So they went in and they walked around and they did everything they needed to do. I took off. I couldn't handle waiting anymore. So I went for a ride and they put in an offer. And one thing that was significant about the offer, they waived home inspection.
Mhm.
Now I had taken the sale from the other person that was going to waive first 5,000 and all of this. And I'm running around now looking for all of the imperfections of my home. So I started digging up roots and the blocks in the driveway. And because they were cracked, one of the things was safety. And I know this guy was going to beat me up bad. And his offer was only at 10,000 more than the previous one, waiving everything. So I started digging up the pavers, and all of a sudden I dropped one of the pavers on my finger. Now I knew that the family was supposed to be the family I was giving it. That was picked for this. And ends up, the guy has 51 years of continuous sobriety, just a couple of months after he left Woodstock. The two of us like just hit it off. His wife is a cancer survivor of 30 years. His daughter as well. His daughter was the one that was buying the home. They had 2 little girls with them. The little girl went home and she was saying beach, beach, beach. But I didn't give them the award until the next day when I dropped the brick on my finger, was able to get it out of the attorney review, and I went right back to them. She sent me this wonderful, wonderful rainbow thank you card like a 6-year-old could do, and had her favorite things, a dinosaur and beach and a house. So the appreciation level, when I just allow myself to go with what I know is right from the beginning, and I don't allow other people's opinions, I don't try to adapt to their opinion on how I should govern my life. And
Yeah.
at times, because that's social conditioning, we all have a part of it. But my biggest thing is freedom. There is no way that I'm going to take on behavior that is not authentic to who I am. Because when I do that, that's when I start getting into trouble. I'm starting to make myself out to be something that makes your life easier and mine difficult.
Yeah. And when you tune in and pay attention, you can tell like your emotions are guiding you, because when you're following something because it's what someone else wants, but you're really doing it from people pleasing or seeking validation outside, you can tell because it doesn't feel good, and that's where your emotions are guiding you. And having that alignment within, again, to follow what feels better for you. And, you know, it's amazing too, when we're honest and when we're authentic about what it is that we want and allow ourselves to follow that. A lot of times when we tell the other person, oh, you know, what I really want to do is this other thing. And usually it works out better for them too. Like, oh, great. Okay, well, let's just do that. Or you go do that and I'll go do this. That it works out. But when we're trying to like fit in a box or figure out what someone else wants from us instead of tuning in to what is in alignment for ourselves, it doesn't feel good.
Bill. Of this bit because everything seemed to work out. I got in touch with her, and she was an attorney, so she's doing all this wonderful. There's so many other dynamics that on this unfolding. It's just wonderful. I'm off, and what it did free me up. I'm no longer looking for problems and trying to fix it and spending weeks and going over it and allowing attorneys to argue back and forth. I didn't know how big a deal is waiving a home inspection is.
Yes, yeah.
Be able to retract. And you know, a little bit of pain. My finger was black and blue, and you know, lost and kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Was
Well, and I love that you said about the problem solving, and you know, so that's been a huge shift too, from going from being a problem solver, because when you're a problem solver, you're looking for problems.
I didn't want to do that at all.
Right. And so again, it's that shift of don't look for problems to solve, focus on what's wanted. So, you know, instead of looking for where is the resistance, take the path of least resistance and follow that. Keep following what is it that I want? So keep asking yourself, what do I want? What do I want to feel? And let that be the guide instead of, you know, the from the standpoint of the problems.
Yeah. The family and I have gotten pretty close already. We came out for coffee, things of that nature. Typically, what I assume is not done in a normal selling of one's home. You know, some seldom meet them very well, very less become friends, and they want him to do all these wonderful things. I mean, the guy he's a retired minister, and he goes around the world and he builds hospitals and schools. So that's what he does. And he's retired now, but his family, he's got 2 grown sons, and they're going to come. It was epic in that little subtle, this is the way it was supposed to be. And it freed me up. So I can now pursue my desires to, you know, going to New Zealand and spending 6 months there for a work visa, because I want to be able to work there and things of that nature, because I want to own an island. There's a whole lot of other things. It's just more fun in the pre-paving and the journey. And it's all about the journey.
Yeah.
And that is what is miraculous. I know the unfoldings that are happening. They're just so delicious. And yeah. And it's all, for me, the secret is appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Appreciation. You know, I mean, I look back at my past sometimes and I get a whole lot of appreciation that I'm not what I once was. And in that regards, and yeah, it's just a wonderful way, definitely a wonderful way to live. And I thank you, and I thank everybody. I haven't met everybody on this call, but I thank you all for being here and the part you play in my wonderful journey. So talk to you guys later.
Yeah, thank you. And yes, appreciation is one of the highest vibrations. And when we appreciate, we're saying, yes, more of this, please. Yes, thank you. Thank you for all of this. And then also you can appreciate in advance for the things also that you do want. And it's really about getting yourself in that highest vibration. Okay. Anyone else have any questions, comments? I'll talk a little bit about the mastermind that I've mentioned a few times. So this mastermind, I started this earlier in the year. Actually, Betsy's on here, I think. There you are, Betsy. So Betsy and I have worked together, and so I did the manifestation course earlier this year. That was a free 3-part series. And she said, I really liked this. You should do a mastermind. And I was like, you're right, I should. And so that started the first mastermind in February. That was 8 weeks. We did another 8 weeks. Was loving it so much that became a 12-week mastermind. And so that just wrapped up last week. And I love this mastermind concept. Really, I love the one-on-ones. We can get really deep and release a lot of resistance, move a lot of energy. But I also love the groups, because there is a certain energy in the groups when people are sharing, and it's the collective energy of that group. It's like we're all lifting each other up. And we've had some really amazing things happen in this mastermind group with, people manifesting things in their life, things changing. And really, some of the biggest things are, someone said in the mastermind just last week, you know what, I'm feeling more joy. I don't really remember feeling joy for a long time, but I'm feeling joy. And that itself is a huge thing. The feeling is a manifestation. That's the vibration of knowing that things are shifting, and that things are also shifting in your reality when your vibration is shifting, and just feeling better feels really, really good. So the mastermind, there will be another one starting at the beginning of November. So we had been meeting on Thursdays. I'm going to switch it to Tuesday nights. We will do group sessions. And then also something that started in that first mastermind, kind of as an experiment, is I started these tuning calls every morning. And so this is also something from part of a process from Gina Mallison. And it's really morphed a lot, because, that the second process that I walked you through of feeling emotions, that, tuning into your body, and you're really embodying an emotion. Where are you feeling it? Does it have a color? Does it have a shape? You can also do that with positive emotions. And it's really embodying that emotion, because one of the things for me, in some of the work that I had done in the beginning was much more of a healing. Okay, we're going to heal ourselves. But I really want to be happy. I want to be happy. Like, how do I just embody more of that? And so this has really, really helped with that. And we're tuning our vibration when we do that. Belinda's on the call. I had a talk with Belinda yesterday, and she's also a sound healer. And it is like that tuning fork. You have a tuning fork that has a vibration. And so we're picking out emotions or knowings, and it has a vibration with it. And we're tuning ourselves into that emotion. And that's going to be different for everyone. But we are embodying that every morning and having those intentions. How do I want to feel? And it's morphed over time. Now I feel like it's more of kind of a flow of energy and a rampage. And by the end, I'm buzzing, and everyone else says that they're buzzing too. And it's a great way to start the day. And my friend, Luna, who's also in the group, she couldn't be on the call tonight, but she also does some of the tunings, so that we have them continuous now every day of the week, so that there's always that touch point. It's just half an hour call, kind of to tune yourself up, vibe up for the day. And then we have those group sessions once a week that are a longer session that we do more sharing. I'm also going to, for this next one, I'm going to add a weekly office hour so that someone's like, hey, I want to release some more resistance. I have some things coming up. I want to move some energy around it. We can use those office hours in an open way for that. And there will also be different tiers where you can include one-on-ones, because those one-on-ones also really help propel you even more. It helps you go deeper into releasing that resistance for yourself. And so that I'm going to send out more information on that mastermind. I'll send that out to everyone here that was on the call. And I also have a handout of the emotional processes that we talked about tonight. So you'll have that for your reference, that you can do those processes on your own, because, this is not just about reading a book or listening to an audio. It's about really embodying these practices, implementing it. It's about remembering more and more of that blended being, of that blending your physical and non-physical. And it's really you getting in touch with your own inner alignment, you having your own guidance and tuning into that. And the more that you do that, the more it comes to you, the easier it becomes, the more synchronicities that you have in your life, the more joy. Something we've talked about in some of the earlier masterminds, something I really noticed for myself with those daily tunings, of noticing just better and better feeling thoughts, because as you do that, the vibration, you will attract better feeling thoughts. Yeah, Jackie.
Mute. There we go.
Oh, yep,
Unmute.
there you go.
I just wanted to say that I've been doing the morning tunings. I was in the original mastermind group, and then I've been doing the mastermind tunings. They have made such a difference in my whole life. And it's a subtle thing, but it's something you just slowly realize over time. You're tuning to different emotions, and during the day you stop and you go, okay, we just tuned to this. Now I feel like I can handle this. And you go with, like, ease and flow is one of them we use a lot. We use gratitude. Trying to think of some of the other ones that we did. What was the trust one this morning?
Yeah, we did unwavering trust.
Unwavering trust. The word unwavering trust really struck with me this morning, because sometimes you're just not sure whether you're trusting what you're feeling. You don't trust, you go, am I really? But that word unwavering trust, I've thought about it all day. I tune back into it, and I'm getting that solid yes. So I highly recommend it. I can't, I miss them because sometimes they're 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm on mountain time, which is like 6 o'clock for me, 9 o'clock for you. But I make myself wake up because I just can't miss them. I really miss them every day. And it's wonderful because everybody that's on there is all feeling the same. So great group, great community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jackie. And it really has, it makes such a big difference. And I feel like that daily connection and being intentional. How do I want to start my day? How do I want to feel? Because it really is about being intentional. You're the creator. You are the creator of your life. So how do you want to create it? You get to choose. You get to be intentional about what you want. And this is part of that remembering to tune in to what you want, to write the script that you want. You're the director of your own play. You get to pick the scenes and know that it's always changing. you're not stuck. You can tune into something different. Yeah. Okay. Anyone have anything else? It's been so lovely having you all here. And that was something for me. Jackie was talking about tuning into that trust. And even for me before this call, just trusting, okay, whatever is gonna come out, the right thing for who's here, that someone is summoning the information. It's what they wanted to hear. And again, for me, it's about feeling that energy of it and feeling the vibration of it. And things have really, really morphed and evolved for me as I follow this inspiration, as I follow my highest excitement. And this mastermind really has been my highest excitement. And again, I still do the one-on-ones, and I love the one-on-ones. But there's something about the group energy of the mastermind. And we have a WhatsApp group where we share, whatever things. And this last time we also started, I called it Welcome to the Treasure Hunt. And Luna has been the master of the treasure hunt this time. And so we pick something different every week. You listen to Abraham, the blue glass and butterflies, that's what it's really about. It's about tuning into something that has no resistance and then seeing how it shows up for you. And sometimes it's really crazy, the things that show up. So it's a fun game. And so that's the thing, making things light, making it fun, not being so serious. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you all for coming. Oh, and so next week on the 29th, there will be another master class, and it's going to be at 7 p.m. again. And I'm super excited. Andy Dooley is going to be on at the beginning of the call. And I met Andy through another group that I was in about 3 years ago. And he did some processes with us in that group. And then we've just stayed in touch online, and I saw him in Sedona at the Bashar workshop. And for some reason, a thought just dropped in my head. I'm going to do something with Andy Dooley. I don't know what it is. And so after the workshop, I just had the thought, oh, do a master class. Oh, invite Andy to do a process. And so I reached out to him and he said yes. And so that was, again, that's part of that, just following that highest excitement, following those little pings of, ooh, just contact this person. And again, so I'm excited. So it will be some of the same information. It'll also incorporate more of imagination. If you've listened to Andy, he's a master storyteller. He is goofy and funny. He's high energy. So it's going to be a really fun call. So if you can join for that call too, and I'll also make this call, the recording, available for you also. Okay, everyone, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.